My name is Rich Gold, and I am a lobbyist.
It's okay.
I was hoping they would all say, "Hi, Rich," and an unabashed lobbyist. And my low point this year has been I got into my office one morning, only a few weeks ago, right before Christmas, and found a little pink note in my satchel from my 11th grade daughter who said, you know, "Daddy, go do good things today. I know you're a good lobbyist and not those people the president is talking about." At which point I started to get a little disheartened. To get to the questions at hand, though, I don't think the Obama administration's efforts have been effective so far, but following up on what Melanie said, and I agree with and incorporate by reference much of what she said, I don't think it's possible to go at it the way the president and his staff are going at this and actually have an impact. And we can talk a little bit about campaign finance as well. I'm sure David's going to agree with me that if you ban all of us from giving, you know, a single dollar for the rest of our lives as lobbyists, we would welcome that. But there's also the little problem of the Constitution and what the court will uphold, as we've seen recently. I do think greater transparency, both on the contact side as well as on the campaign finance side, would help here and makes a lot of sense. There's absolutely no reason in today's day and age when you make a contribution to a member of Congress, whether it be an individual, a lobbyist, whoever it is, that campaign contribution can't be up on the web within 24 hours and be searchable easily on a centralized database. And for that matter, at the same time, when you have a contact with a member of Congress or whatever, that there be you know, some kind of transparency there. The issue with all this is balancing the disclosure with the burden on free speech. And that's a balance that needs to be cut in a way without the president giving out dictates on here's what I thought, and it's really his staff at this point, and I won't mention the particular gentleman at issue. Here's what I thought of that would be a great idea now that I want to go do. There needs to be much more discussion and consensus building around this issue, much as we're talking about issues like healthcare and energy and climate right now. If one side tries to ram something down the throat of the other side and the American people, we will get nowhere on this issue as we are getting nowhere on those issues. And so, you know, what I would suggest and what I've suggested in my writings so far have been pulling together some kind of consensus-based stakeholder process to come up with suggestions that everybody can agree to and work on. Because, as Melanie referred to, if we wait for Congress on their own to act on this issue, we'll be, well, my daughter will be lobbying on that issue, you know, when she's a lobbyist. So I think that some kind of process in that realm is the right path forward. I don't think the impact of special interests has been reduced to date, nor do I think it's going to be reduced going forward with any of the new initiatives that have been proposed by the administration. And I do have to stand up for two things here. One, what lobbyists do on a daily basis, which I'm sure David will perfect after I finish here, is to provide information based on one point of view, their client's point of view, in terms of what action either Congress or an executive branch agency should take on a particular issue. And that's what we view ourselves as educators. There are certainly elements of the lobbying community, just as there are elements of the nonprofit community, I will remind everybody here, that step out of line from time to time, do things with money they shouldn't do things with access they shouldn't do. But there is a tool to deal with those things, and the tool is called prosecution and jail time. And that seems to be working relatively well so far. In fact, if you want to cut right now the interests of special interests in a very effective way, we could actually have the Justice Department start enforcing the law, because they're not doing it right now. There are thousands of referrals annually under the Lobbying Disclosure Act that go over to the Department of Justice, and no cases are ever brought. So if this administration wants to get serious on cracking down on things, and you know, I have integrity and I'm an honest lobbyist, but this is clearly a statement against interest. We ought to have an enforcement initiative that goes out there and enforces the laws on the books. Let's see how that works before we start creating more barriers to free speech.